I am formulating a plan of attack for today on the Jaguar. So I got to remember to put that quart of oil in there. Well, welcome to Charlotte. It's quart of oil. There's not wool. There's no U in there. We don't spell it like Germans do. It's O-I-L, oil. Ugh, quart of oil. Turn signals aren't working, and boy, I'll show you why in a second. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I want to do a massive rewire on that, but you just generally don't do such things on antique, rare vehicles. I'm going to show you my turkey carving knife today. I shot a couple of turkeys out back the farm, and I'm going to chop them up with my what do they call it? Reciprocating knife. No, I'm just kidding. I'll show you how to cut foam today for above the radiator. You'll see what I'm talking about. Actually, I did some footage on that the other day and deleted it. It's kind of weird. So I can almost see in there well enough. There's some stuff behind the dash that I saw that I want to clean up. Little bits and pieces and stuff. There's actually, if I remember, I'll make a note of it. I'll show you where there's a problem with an earth back there, and if you open and close that hatch where the I don't think I showed it. I meant to so many times. Where the 4 fuse boxes are, you can actually get a little wear pattern and cause a direct short. Therefore, now the wiring in this thing is cloth wrapped, a lot of it. Be concerned about that, but remember there is still, in many cases, plastic insulation under the cloth, so just be mindful, okay? And there's some parts in there I want to get out. I'm going to fix that map lamp switch. Maybe I'll do a segment on how to take those apart. And let's see, yeah, there's some hazard diagram stuff I was doing. So I saw something interesting in the wiring diagram. I know, I'm in trouble. All right, I don't care. So if you go back, I don't want to lose the page now. Maybe I should show this. Let's put this right here. I mean, if you're watching this stuff, it's only because you're geeky about this mess as I am. There it was right there. This is the old, earlier, maybe 3.8 S1, 61 to 63.4, whatever. The ones with a generator, and that's a whole different ball of wax. And when I first got the car, somebody had been, can you imagine? Somebody had been hacking around there. That goes back to then. The alternator diagram is very important because of the control box and all this other stuff. So the AL goes to the dash light and then to the key switch, and then the positive goes to NP. NP would be brown purple, and N is a brown in this world, and that's brown green. So your plus goes to the plus terminal of the control box. So I guess you can still get those. And your negative goes to the field coil, and then the alternator is directly hooked to the battery. That's the way it was back then. Buddy Holly drew that out for me, and so that goes back to that. So this is not going to apply to me very much. It seems to be a blend. You run into a blend of different problems and things when it comes to these things. So let's put this back up here. Better be careful with my camera. I'm wearing my lap, and I've got my nice cool robe on. So this is for models prior to Series 2. Why don't you just see Series 1? Now there was a Series 1 and a 1.5, and the switch was the switches. The switch was they used rocker switches on the later ones because they were afraid that you were going to bounce around the cabin of the car and you might poke your eye out on this little tiny toggle switch. So they forced them to go to rocker switches, which those things are miserable. I really don't like the old-fashioned rocker switches. I have had several of them just come apart. You click them and they just come apart in your hand. I had that happen on an MG Midget on the hazard switch, which I'm going into right now. I didn't think about that. and that thing disintegrated and all the parts fell out, and then you lose your turn signals, because as you can see here, and the reason I'm bringing this up, let's see if I can do this. I don't want to mark on my page here. If you have hazards, you have two turn signal flashing units as a rule. Here's one right here, and here's one right here. Now, when you deal with these old flashers, you will see that there's an X, a P, and an L terminal. It's that long cylindrical metal thing. You all of us with British cars know how to do this. So X goes generally to power. Now see, mine somehow went out the other day, so you'll see there's a fuse there, and that's a brown wire. Brown wires are generally hot all the time. Unfused, hot all the time. So there's your X terminal. And then your P terminal will go to the hazard pilot lamp. And I have a diagram over there on how to wire flashers better than this, but let's not obfuscate the issue. And then your L will be load, and the P that's LGP, light green purple, and LGN as a light green brown. And then this is how complicated and crazy this is. I don't know why. I wonder how many times the average car with a hazard switch engages that switch. I bet it's like 3.1 times on average through the entire existence of your car. I put them on when there's a emergency vehicle or something like that, but I've noticed other people don't do that. So anyway, but it was interesting to me because X up here means power. And then they're showing on the same diagram, you'll pick up one of these, and it's XPL, and you'll pick another one up, and it'll be BPL, and that just means battery, X and battery. And on the same diagram, they've switched it. I guess maybe they had the later type hazard flasher unit here, and see, this is a hazard flasher too. And in this series, the hazard flasher just gives you the one warning lamp that flashes. And on this one, they split it, and then you get a right flasher and a left flasher up right there on the fascia, the dashboard. And they separated it then. But on early cars, you just had the single light, like the TR4 and the Healy, and even the Spitfire came that way. It's not wired that way now because I rewired that car. But there used to be, you just got one signal flash, and this was true on Pontiacs and everything. You didn't have a right and a left indicator light, is where I'm going with this. So there is that diagram, and I'm gonna draw it out and sort of see what I can find down there. But I am this close to taking that out of there. I'm so sick of looking at that nasty U.S. government mandated crud hanging off that car. It makes me want to vomit. So the other thing we've got to check today is let's see who knows what this. You know what an otter switch is? Okay, an otter switch is nothing but a temperature switch. It's used to run the fans back then. So when the engine got hot, it's a thermostatic switch. But back then they called it an otter switch. So it's not some kind of transsexual otter that you can switch to one sex or the other. It's just a heat-driven switch. So cold, it's off, and then in a certain range it comes on. I don't know, what is it, 85 C, 80 degrees centigrade, 100 and something, and it'll turn on the very anemic fan, which I may, if I think about it. Let me make another. I'll show you what the original fan looks like in this car if you've never seen it. As I remember, oops, I'm probably making a terrible noise on that thing. Old fan, and it's so ridiculous. It's almost laughable how bad that thing is. So they don't seem to overheat. I guess they would if you sat in traffic long enough. And I guarantee you, if you have an original Jaguar with the fan you're about to see in this video, you are going to overheat if you sit in traffic. I can guarantee you that. So anyway, yeah, my car still has an otter switch, but it's just it's being used just to blank off the hole. I mean, that's all it's good for. And really, in today's world, there are better ways to do things. Now, in my car, I may have shown it. I just have a switch under the dash, and when I notice the heat going up, which is rare because I'm not going to drive that thing in traffic, I just turn that on and it cools it right off. Almost, it's a gigantic modern fan like I put on the Bonneville. So anyway, there's your inhibitor switch. So if you got an uninhibited Otter, you can get an inhibitor switch and turn him on and off. So just joking there. Okay, so let me finish drawing my diagram, then we'll go down to the shore, down to the barn. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Okay, it's a new day. It's been several days since you saw me last, and I know this is a Jaguar video, but I wanted to show you something. You see this motor right here? This is the omnipresent, and besides that, it's everywhere, motor that you see on old British cars. This happens to be the wiper motor. You can tell by the transmission work there in the 180. Well, let's not digress. I'm trying to keep in mind that all my stuff's been lost, so I'm not really duplicating anything. It's kind of like a first time for me. So just remember that motor. And we're just going to walk around, and I almost don't care anymore how long my videos. Oh, I got to do the, got to carve up my turkey, don't I? Okay. So this car, you can't see it right now, but you can in the Bonneville. Maybe you can, I don't know. But yeah, you can't. You see right there, that is a modern cooling fan. That is a Spell, and boy, let me tell you, it puts out some CFMs, baby, cubic feet per minute. And oh, I was going to show you the Otter switch. The Otter switch, well, I'm not going to bother with that. Maybe I can see it from here too, I don't know. Well, yeah, you can. That is the Otter switch right there. Let's go in on it if I can. And that's the Otter switch, which I don't use anymore. That was the switch that kicked on the little fan. See that pedestal with nothing on it? That's where the old cooling motor mounted with what would laughingly be called a fan blade. I'll take you upstairs in a second. And like I said earlier, got to open this door. I don't know. Looks like the sun's getting pretty close. And this is where I have the I don't have the battery hooked up. This is where I have that hooked up now. Right here, and the little light comes on. So that turns my fan on now. I don't know what it is about these cars, but they run amazingly cool. You know, Jaguar just does stuff like that. See the little button down there for turning the interior lights on and off? They actually put a little chrome plate right there. I mean, it's just every little thing about it's just fun. And let's see. So you got to see the Otter switch, the main fan nowadays. So that is, of course, that's a pusher. I got to put the old quart oil in it. And let's go upstairs. What am I going to carry as I go? I got some stuff. There's a whole Spitfire water pump. There's some gaskets. This is upper sanctum here. Few people know what inner sanctum actually was. Do you? Everybody uses that phrase, but it was actually an old radio show. Ooh, hot up here. Whew. Anything here you need, you can't have it. Everything ends up here. There's the starter out of the original starter out of the Jaguar, right there. And look at that, you can adjust the bell. Unbelievable stuff. But this, my friends, for a great big 150 mile an hour car, y'all ready for it? That is the original motor and fan that came on Jaguar S1s and 1.1s. I can't breathe up here. It's so bad. So that's all you got. And the pitch on that, I actually increased that at one point. It's just unbelievably miserable. There's some original stuff out of Daphne. This is her original heater, and you could do the defrosting there. That's out of a 57 GMC. This is her. Oops, there it is. I meant to do that. That's her original turn signal cover. There's Jaguar alternator, all kind of alternator control boxes, heater valves. That's an extension for a non-overdrive gearbox. There's a rearview mirror I didn't know was up here. Glad to see that. More control boxes, half fans. That's out of Daphne here. This is my collection of switches. That's out of the Nash Metropolitan. These switches are so cool because a lot of the old British switches, they were double, like on T-Series. It's a key on and off, but you turn the headlights on and off on that little bezel. So if you didn't know you had a problem there, got a little crusty. And all the, as I spoke of earlier, I have a bunch of these switches, and that's a brake thing. Yeah. I don't think I even bothered. Boy, here's a piece of one. Here's one of those rocker switches I mentioned. That's a hazard switch. And these will actually just come apart in your hands. This is what was dictated in case you're flying around the inside of your car. You don't want to, cut your hand on anything. So they made them put these switches in there, and these things just come apart. Not too complicated, but also not too good. The original manifold off the Spitfire. Some paint supplies. Old brake shoes. Oh, those cans. I don't know where those cans went. Used to haul ashes in those cans. And air cleaners and an extension for a TR4. That thing is unbelievably horrible. Stuff for Daphne. Motorcycle stuff. The front bumper for the Healy. A bunch of BMW stuff I'm not going to put back in. And a bunch of gauges. So, I got to get out of here. So, yeah, that does keep the birds out. I have not collected one deceased bird. Well, that's not helping any because they can get in right there, can't they? And, since I put this stuff up Sean gave me, they do, look at that, they do try to get through. They keep trying to get in there, and I don't know what's in there for them. And there's my insulation that's falling down. I don't really care much about it. So there's the old eyebrow window there. All kinds of stuff. There's some whale pipe, and there she is as it stands. So let me get to work on some other stuff. Boy, I don't know. Birds just seem to have a particular springtime. Got to build a nest. Go anywhere you can. You can break your neck right here. So let's try not to do that. Try not doing that with your neck now, okay? Oh. And then, ooh, that is a cool breeze. So anyway, let me clean up a little bit, and I am going to go in hard and heavy on getting, I can't stand it anymore, and I will very happily put this in a bag. Where's the light? There's one right there. I am going to do a little bit of cleanup and stuff in the inner dashboard there, but I can't stand this thing anymore. Now, one of the reasons I haven't really messed with this thing is because this is sort of made, this underpiece is sort of made to cover that. So I think I'm going to take that cover off and duplicate it in some way. I don't want to bend it or mess with it. So I'm thinking of a way to get around that, but I get it. I get the safety aspect of it. I do. I really do. And for some reason, my turn signals, the battery's not connected. It isn't plugged in. So I'm going to do something here. Now, if you look underneath here, this is a rather small little cover. I might could get away with nothing there, and you probably would never even know it. Most people won't even know there are Jaguar plates down there. So I know. I wonder about the radio in this thing. That's a Becker, and and I wonder. Blaupunkt, I believe, was a supplier to Jaguar too, but I think a lot of these were put in at the dealer. So I don't really know, but I love Beckers. A Mexican radio, and the Becker Mexico is among the best. And there were some pieces that I just showed you upstairs. I didn't bring it up, but the exterior amplifier and all that stuff. So anyway, let's see what this is like. I've got my wiring diagram. Let's go cut some foam. I think that you will find that interesting if you've not seen it. Just gently move those out of the way. I would say she was really a half a cord down, not really a full cord. So there's the finally doing this. And that's just a better thing that we do. Now if you wait a minute, as the dipstick told you to do, it gives you your more true level. If you wait overnight, it comes all the way almost back up to full, but I don't know. A little bit, half a quart, I think is the best answer there. And I put all of that on there. Thanks to Mick for giving me those. I like to keep that clean. So let's go cut some foam. I got that off my mind because I may try to start her later today. So you can see the little foam bits right here, and I'm getting ready to fix that. Now what we're going to do, I cut this, that must have been a test one I cut or something, I don't know. But this is, I don't know what these things cost anymore if you bought them from Terry's or Ingles, whatever it is. See, that thing fits in there pretty good. So, and but I think she's a little too tall. So, and I think I'll see if I got some black paint and I'll paint that. But you know, you got to be careful with paint and foam. It looks like a matador cat, doesn't it? I don't think one side. Yeah, one side is a little longer than the other. I forgot that. So this side's a little deeper. And that just helps you out keeping the air going. Yeah, I would consider that to be a little tall. I don't know. I guess I was in a hurry when I did that, which was probably the case. So, I don't know. It's a little bit of an angle. Boy, I went to some trouble there. Okay, or maybe it just formed that way after it sat there for a number, but it is too tall. I opened it now and then, and it would be a little bit folded over. So let me go show you how to cut foam if you don't already know. Great upholsterer trick here. Let's line up things here a little bit, and we're going to, first of all, this was a little testing cap. I need to be rid of that. So I'll show you how this works if you hadn't seen it before. Oh, there's my hardware. And we'll worry about that in a minute. So this is your Von Shelf, whatever that means, electric knife. Sounds scary, doesn't it? Well, it is scary. And that's your reciprocating carving the turkey thing. So watch this. Let's see if I can get it in frame. I kind of don't want to lose too much of this. Don't want, you know, just demonstration. See, ain't that cool? So that's the way you do that. I'd like to thank Furniture on the Mend guys for that. I can't remember, Ed and somebody else, the little fat guy in the, which is very talented, and the tall guy who was also very talented. So I don't think I can get all this on camera, but the whole point, well, I guess maybe I can do a little bit at a time. I'm gonna just narrow this down a little bit. I remember putting the blades in this, and it ain't easy. It's kind of difficult. Amazing, ain't it? And you can just cut whatever kind of design you feel like in it. So when you're doing upholstery, hopefully you don't have the kind of upholstery that uses foam.
But if you do, which most of us do now, and you could tell too. Did you see the little bits of dust flying out of it? This is, well, not a little bit, it's a lot, but that's already breaking down. So I don't know. There you go. What color you want to paint it? It depends on what colors I have. I don't buy much spray paint anymore because the thing's already hot. Well, let's not leave that plugged in. Nothing's any good anymore, is it? Broken when delivered. And so, yeah, I don't buy much spray paint because I powder coat. Sometimes, you know, you can't put stuff in the oven and get it to 400 degrees. But that green just looks kind of chalky, doesn't it? Anyway, let's see what I can do. Okay, let's turn the light on here. Now, I just don't feel like that right there, that nut right there should be that far out. Remember, these are hot, so disconnect your battery. And back in there, you'll see there's a little star washer down in there. Yeah, we can't have that. That just looks untidy. Well, one place to another. Well, at least it's not where I can see it. It's fallen down and fell off. Can't hurt us anymore. So anyway, that's okay. So I was going to tell you this too. Let me mark this off my list. I think I mentioned this, but I didn't end up showing it. This whole wiring harness goes toward the left right there. See that green I felt going around the wiring harness with a couple of ties? That was a dead short waiting to happen. I might have mentioned it before, but it's worth mentioning again. You just got to reinforce that a little bit. And this thing don't come down very often, so it's getting ready to go back up for a long time. But let's fix this. Ooh, that looks like 1/2 inch or something, doesn't it? So as you may know, these are little thumb screws, and there'll be little washers behind them. Let's see if these are the original ones. That star washer I just lost was not an original one. That one, let's see if I can get. I'm not scared of arcing anything out. Well, it's there, and man, is it driven into home. I don't like losing these little original ones. It's not like your high lock. Boy, that thing there's been around, hasn't it? And I tell you what, if you go to a junkyard and you find these cars, get these little wheels and stuff. They're really quite good. Now, this is the amp meter, of course. And amp meters measure amperage through the line, so you don't want to mess with this too much. And let's see what else is down there. So then you pull this off, and it has insulators. See, it has these insulators right here, and I may have done that, but it was for good reason. And when you pull any of this off, check the other one to make sure it's right. Check out this beautiful wrench here, Armstrong, made in USA. Isn't that beautiful? It's just a beautiful thing. I don't think that it's 7/16. Let's see if that comes off. Yeah. Give me a little bit of room, and boy, you're working with millimeters here. So is that 7/16? Yes, it is. Yay! Oops. It'd be good if it's hard to keep this all in your mind, and I think there must be a big lock washer in there or something. And you know, like I tell people, I had an old Corvette and stuff, and people, hey man, that's not original. You got to remember that they were junk for a long period of time. They sat in used car lots. This car too, maybe. And I doubt it, but I know that it probably didn't. I know that it sat in Arizona for a while. See, there's this. I just don't see why that needs to be there. And so the other thing you can do, you can sort of take a look at those. That looks pretty clean. Okay, I'm not going to mess too much with this thing. So now we're going to put that back on. And I feel like I'm talking to you, but it's just that you got to kind of concentrate. Now these things are so big the fitting ends right here that you have to sort of stagger them a little bit. So, okay, well, we'll see what it looks like when it's done, okay? Okie doke, that looks a lot better. Makes me feel a little safer. You are just that far away from a dead short and ugliness. So, okay, let's put the caps back on. Now, I'm fortunate in that I have these that say Lucas, England on them. And, click, it goes click bang. Now, I do have one that doesn't say Lucas, England on it. But you just put that one where you're less likely to see it, when you're in the parking lot, wherever you are. That one fit better than the Lucas one. Everybody wants to see the inside of your dashboard, so you don't want to be caught with your fuse boxes down. Okay, and now you notice these are cut a little bit, and I guess somebody did that for a reason. I don't know what that reason was. It doesn't look like anything I would do but anyway. And I don't care if it's upside down even. I think they did that because they don't clear very well. Click. That one made a nice click noise. Okay. So we got that nasty little washer out of there. And I'll tell them where it went. And we all know about this stuff. So, and I know that these, I feel certain, I've been to car shows. That looks like something you got at Home Depot. But that's okay, because you don't see it anyway. Most people never even know they're there. I wonder how many owners have owned these cars and never even known they're there. So there is that. And if I'm here this late at night, and you wanna make sure those are all the way in, that can be the source of a squeak or a rattle. And don't tighten up that one in until you get the other one in. It's like anything else. Generally, in most circumstances, you would not tighten something all the way down until you had everything fitted loosely and then tighten down. Okay. Well, that's a lot of thread. I may think about next time I order something for her. Now I see something I saw. Now you can tell that somebody in this car smoked, but that would not have been unusual in 1967. All the bottle was covered with cigarette burns or cigar. I found cigar wrappers down in the thing. See right here where they missed? There's a circle. Somebody, they probably were having a scotch and soda while they were driving. When I was a kid, my dad he just drank Jack Daniels and water driving down the road. Boy, you can't do that now. But anyway, kind of good that you can't. But you can see that circle right here matches that circle right there. Somebody missed. And that's okay. Adds a little bit of history and patina to the whole thing. And here's the ashtray. And it looks pretty clean. It looks like I may have gone in and cleaned it up. But that chrome bit right there has not been damaged by smoking. The ashtray looks pretty nice, actually. And a very beautiful thing. Early ones that said Jaguar right there. But this don't do that. And this light bar still works. This is something you got to be real careful with, is this light bar. What is wrong with me? I am just no good at this. I was not even touching the thing. Alright, well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. Why don't they put the zoom thing in on the other side of the camera so you don't accidentally hit it like I do all the time? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I forgot, but those things happen. I don't think it really matters. I was going to take this map light out. Okay, I want to do the right thing. I said I would. It's on my list, so I got to do it. So I got all carried away showing you stuff. So anyway, you might not have seen what was going on anyway. Let's get this off. So what you're about to witness, see those, I don't think those are original. I think that's Home Depot quality there. Which is nothing wrong with Home Depot. I love the Home Depot. Sadly, there's not one around here. Now this is a two-handed operation here or you will do damage. So let me do this. You got to get that. There's a tool, and I may even have it, but let's just see if I can get it to break loose here. Yeah, I want to rebuild this map light. I would like for that to work right. I wish that socket fit a little better too, but whatever. Let's get that map light loose. Do this at your own risk. Okay, you don't want to go and rip that. Okay, let's see. We're not zoomed out, being 1 foot away from anything. Very careful application. Try not to mar the metal or anything else. And pull that like that, and then you pull this ring off. Ringa. Play it, George, one time for Ringa. Okay, so I've pulled both of those out. So back down again, and just make sure you don't hit right there too bad. Pull this back out. And we're all clear here. Okay, and so it ought to just slip. You hope it does anyway. So now you got to get down into here. Ooh, there's a washer. Okay, well that tells you it's original. Look at that little washer. Wow, neat. All right, so let's see about the here. All right, that is not going to be too bad. So there's only two. There's a purple, white, and a double blue. Sorry. More light than we thought. It might just fall out now. Okay, nope, it's not going to just fall out. So, see, this is just fun. Are you having fun yet? And then that thing will just, okay. There we go. It should just come right on out now. All right, and you have to have really good fingers here. Now, the reason that it's giving me a hard time is because it's hitting that bar down there. And then if you're lucky, you get that out of there. Now I'm going to have an extra one of these pretty soon. See, it says Lucas right there. And do you want to take that apart? Because you ain't ever going to find that again. I would say no. So let me just take it out and get some contact cleaner and a little lubricant and see if I can get it down in there and just sort of get it to work again. Now these things have grease in them, and the grease gets kind of crusty and hard, and that sometimes it's like old TVs, like back when I was real little and you'd have to take the tuner and spin it back and forth to get the dust out of the tuner. Sometimes it's like that. Here, see, there's a little green crusty there. So let's go clean it and see how it works. And then we're going to go after this. Now I already see something back there. I kind of forgot, but see that gold thing? Well, you can't see it because I don't have the light. Well, maybe I can get the light on it some. See that gold thing up in there? That is a ballast resistor for getting LEDs to work. That was in the days before I knew that all you got to do is just use a light bulb as a ballast resistor. And you can put it somewhere else in line where you won't see it. A light bulb makes an excellent ballast resistor, because that's what the circuit's searching for anyway, and you don't even have to change to LED flashers. But that's a whole different segment. I digress and go on tangents, don't I? Don't mean to. Just trying to help. I'm such a helpful type. All right, let's finish this up here. Where did that? There it is, right there. Okay, those things happen. So I was going to show you something cool here in a minute. So let's see if the cleaning the switch did any good at all. She's all back in place now. There you go. That looks better. And close the door. Light goes off. Okay, and map light on. So no, not really. I made it worse. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta have the key on. Alright, let's see if that. No, I think that is just a goner there. Well, maybe you have to have this on. The side light's on. Yeah, I can tell the lights come on by the amp meter. Side lights. Nope. No dice. I'm not gonna sweat it. I cleaned it out real good. But I can't always be sure that. Nah, see what happens is that crazy. I've cleaned this a couple of times. So let's see what happens now. Yeah, there you go. Hey, it does work. Going through all that grief. Just got the old cruddy grease out of there. I wasn't going to mess with it anymore. So there you go. Door. And then, well, that did work. Kinda. A little bit of play. And I noticed that, and I did not have to have the lights on. So that's an interesting thing there. I thought you had to have those on. And let's see, this is that interior light right there. I tried to show it the other night and I didn't show it good enough. And there's, we can turn that off. Never mess with it again, probably, huh? Don't ever turn the wipers on. I don't ever do that. Ooh, that was good. Ooh, sweet sound in there, ain't it? That's the washers. It's like you're gonna use those, so at least it works. That's all original stuff up there, so I'm not gonna mess with it. And you got to have your, you can't even see, I can see it, but you won't be able to. Okay, so that's enough of that. And let's turn the ignition off, disconnect the battery, and call that a success. I was going to show you guys this too. I mentioned it the other day, but I didn't show it. But when you're doing dash work, it's good. There's a bolt right there. It's right here and right there, and that's why I got those two wrenches for right there. They're 7/16, and you can adjust this wheel up and down. So that's pretty cool. And then, you know, of course, I showed you the other day where you can do that. Don't pull that out too far, because it will. Let's get it out a little bit more than it is, because you'll lose that pin in there, and you'll spend 8 hours getting the horn. Let's make sure the horn blows still, because I hope I didn't mess up the. Yep. There's a long pin in here with the ball bearing thing, so that's pretty good. So pull your steering wheel back and let the column hang down. There's a U-joint up in there that I changed some years ago. There's a modern relay. It must be for my fan, and you can see here. See the little red light? You can hear it out there working. I gotta put charge on this battery again. We're gonna go for this thing. See, that's just not working. Give it the old dope slap there. Let's see if it works. I think I tried this the other day. Oh, you big dummy. So those don't work, and those don't work. That's sort of the point of today's endeavor. It was just kind of an electrical overview of things. So let's go into that. You want to? Just say no. I know I don't want to, but I'm going to. Kind of big funky bug there. So if you guys don't know it already, if you want to kill the bugs in your house, just go get some boric acid and spread it around where animals can't get to it. I think Paul Harvey used to call it roach proof, and it really works. Okay, disconnect the battery and see about pulling that apart. Might get a damp cloth to her here, clean her up some. She's a mess. Had a wonderful little shower. Oh, it was great. Cool and nice. Okay, so I went with red. So we're getting ready to install their end, and I'll show you what it looks like. Look at that. Got the two-tone effect there. And so you can hear it rolling thunder out there. Yeah, this is just some kind of spray paint red I had over there. So I know what we're going to do. We're going to, Buddy Holly's going to initial this for me. I'll show you what it looks like in just a second installed. A nice double application of the 8001, which is yeller. Put some on there, let it soak it in, and then put another layer on there, and you can tell where Buddy just left. Okay, so let's put this in there. Ain't that pretty? So we got to put some weight on it, right? Well, there is some weight on it right there. So we're just going to let that sit there. I can't really tell if it's scorching it over any. Let's just put a little bit of weight on it. It's not exactly hitting correctly, is it? Oh, it's okay, as long as it sort of fills the space. And can get under here, but it takes a little bit of dexterity. All right, and you can tell the wings are sort of out there some, so I guess I could have fit that a little better. You know, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut that at an angle. Ooh, we're almost a little bit too late there. Ooh, well, it looks like. All right, that'll just make it stick better in the long run. So let's cut let's let that cure out, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me because it'll just stick better next time. We're gonna cut a bevel in this thing. I think that'll be better. Let's just do it right now. Sounds like they're having trouble on the farmland behind me there. It seems like there's some unhappy noises that I'm glad are not happening here. Feel them? Oop, hear that? I don't guess you did. So we're going to, I think the thing to do here is, oop. We're going to shape that a little bit. I'm looking, boom. I guess he's doing all that on purpose. I don't know. Okay, so we want to, let's just go at it like, you do need to kind of hold it, grasp it firmly there. So let's make this kind of like this. That glue sticking to anything. See, I think that'll be better. That nice bevel on it there. Another YouTube extravaganza of excitement. Okay, that looks a little better. Let's see how it rolls. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, I can tell you right now that's better contact. All right, I know you can't probably see it. It's going to roll it a little bit, so let's just it pulls the ears back, but okay, let's just put it down right about there, and then we'll let me just put my hands on it and just see what it feels like, see if it rolled forward any. Doesn't seem to. I don't know what else you can do other than just glue it like that. And see, it makes contact right about there with about this much distance, 6 or 7 inches. So let's just put it like that, and let's move on to the other side. That's enough of that. Enough she's a too much. You're only saying that because it's true. Okay. Let's see, the battery is disconnected. I got it charging. She charged up pretty quick, so I know she's not connected. Yeah, let's just do that. I think that's great. Okay, let me connect up the battery so I can do this work on the turn signals. Okay. We have a few issues here under the car under the steering column. One is, see that new U-joint there? And I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, way back up in there somewhere in here is that. I don't know where it is. It doesn't matter where that pin goes. Okay, so I've got the screws out of this. Now the trip set, which is right there, that still works. And you usually go too far. That's good enough. And there's a couple of screws, and then there's this beautiful thing here that holds the trip set. And then I tied something in earthing there. So let's see what we've got here. I see a lot of mess. There we go. Okay, so that's this. That is an original Jaguar production value thing there. And there are my, okay, these are your double flashers. So this goes to earth and that goes to earth. So put this back on. If you're not going to put that back, which I'm not going to, that panel, I'm going to put my little chrome bezel thing back on the trip set, and it won't get lost in the bottom of a box and end up somewhere. And I can still use it. There it goes. It's a kind of a funky thread, ain't it? Just put that on there, and I need to pull all this down. So as I remember, this thing is designed to slide back and forth right here, so you can get it in and out. So I'm just going to drop this down. Those old cheese head screws. And a lot of people, I don't think my dad ever took a screw out of anything without having a little something to put it in. I'm not that way so much. Try not to ska the car, okay? Can't you hear Cleavon Little sing that right now in Fletch or something like that? I think it was. All right, so yeah, these are the old-timey. Well, I don't, maybe they're not old-timey. Here's the fuse. I wonder if it works now. Not so much, huh? Let's hook up those grounds. Ooh, boy, I grounded everything right there, didn't I? You got a bad earth there, and you're going to have something to remember. Let's take a look up here. Now, I'm probably just going to take this trip odometer, because I ain't planning on taking any big trips. I'm just going to put it up there, and with an old original wire holder. And there is one flasher unit. There's the other. There's ballast resistors. And let's take a look at this. This is the original 25 water. So don't ever believe a fuse just by looking at it. It's like beauty's only skin deep. Yeah. So if you hear the beep noise, you'll know this fuse is good. 25 is pretty big for that circuit. Beep. Yep, she's a beeping. So it ain't the fuse. Let's see if it was the earth, because a lot of times you'll find out that's what it is. All right. And I don't like these kind of holders, but that's what was in it, so I'm going to stick with it. Well, it looks like that's been chewed on right there. Well, it's just wear and tear. Let's hook all this to one. Let's make sure I have. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm pretty much guarantee you, Etta James, Sun Up in the Sky. Who did that originally? That was from that movie, that can't remember her name. She was really had a voice. I hadn't thought about her in a long time. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Looked a lot like my mother. She had a mouth like my mother. And I don't really like that style of mouth, to be honest with you, but sometimes it fits. Okay, all right, let's put these two grounds here and this ground here, which I think goes to the fan, and then we'll see if it comes to life. All right. I got another big rainstorm here, so here we go. I fixed that up a little bit. That was kind of ugly. I got everything earthed over there, so well, might as well give her a shot before I start tearing everything apart. Well, I'll be a riddle sprung crummy joker. Are they working? Yeah, I see up in my mirror there flashing. I can see off the back door there. They're working good enough. I had an idea about what to do about that. So that must mean that you have to have the key on. That must mean that the turn signals are working. Yep. You can't see it in the mirror, but I can see it reflecting there. And there's that one. You can see it in the mirror there. Can't see that one because that one not working. It wouldn't be right if everything worked. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, those LEDs are snappy, aren't they? Well, I was expecting more resistance, no pun intended. You get it? Okay. I'd give anything if I could cock that thing over some. You know, I think you can. Let me turn the car off. Okay, put the key up there, make sure I know it's off. This thing has a, you know, that's a good idea. I don't know what I'm going to need to do that. Let's just go look and see. All right, well, that was uneventful, but I'm not through here yet. But I'll tell you what happens when I get out of the car. My pant leg what catch on there, and that ain't no good. I didn't use that washer, so let's put it there. Now, as I recall, yeah, see that thing, if you could just, let me tighten. Right when you get in the car, you remember everything you need. All right, let me set my steering wheel, and then, well, before I do that, I think this just pops off. Yeah, it does. That just pops off. So if you're looking, you can't find the fittings for that. Let's see here, it's just a regular old screwdriver. And I might concoct that thing over some once I get my steering where I want it. It'll go up higher than that, but I've got some other stuff in the way that I put there for that switch. Let's put her right here and then see about cocking this thing up more. That could have been my fault from a long time ago. I don't know. Okay, well let's do that thing. This is going to be kind of hard to explain, but you can't really adjust this right here to go up because this scutcheon bolts directly into a. See if I can explain it. See that black wing right there? See, you can't. That thing's fixed to the steering column, so you can't really move that up, and that's okay with me. I'll tell you something I'm going to do right now, though. I am going to, see, come on, wow, okay. See those little edges right there? Let's just get those to go away. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? See that one, and that one looks all rusty. That's acceptable. When I had the dash out doing the cooling pipes that go inside the cowling, I remember how pretty all this stuff is in here. Everything's so pretty on this car. Okay, that looks better. And I'll put a little bit on the heads of the screws. Do little things like that, and it just enhances the driving experience. You don't think to yourself, I didn't take the extra minutes to do that. So this is all tight now. So what I'm trying to tell you is, let's see if you can see what I'm doing. There's a little collar right there to make sure all that stuff's tight. And that collar goes here. And that's what holds on the scutcheon that goes over the turn signal switch. And I loosened those up. See, that's the turn signal switch itself. And so I had everything loose, hoping I could rotate it over some, but you never know where you're going until you get there. Okay, and that's plenty tight enough. Let's see what it feels like. All right. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And I'll tell you what my plan's going to be for the hazard stuff over there. Okay. Yes, sir. And when those go out, you think that's simple? It's not simple. It's just another one of those things that takes you 3 days. So here is the right-handed scutcheon. Let's clean it off a little bit. Don't want to have anything nasty around here. And it more or less just clips on there. I wish it clipped on there a little bit more firmly, but it's okay. There it goes. And now that cover plate is on there. And that just feels real solid. I've got it at a good height. I've got it out at me enough, and so forth like that. Try not to crash these cars, because this will splinter and go into your eyeballs. I think that was the only option when resetting the trip on a Austin Healey Sprite, and then people got eyeball problems. When, you know, if you're going to crash in 1950 something Austin Healey Sprite, something in your eye might be the last of your problems. When resetting trip counter, rotate knob clockwise until all counters are at 0. Well, that's what I did. And okay, so let's clean up this mess, and then we'll call this a wrap. And I'm just not in the mood to crank her today. It's getting late, and we'll just do that tomorrow. I kind of want to be fully rested, and I want to concentrate on that. So, I love doing that. Oh, give me that wine. Can't do well without muscatel. So what we're going to do here is we're not going to disconnect anything. I kind of changed my mind on that. Now, here's the plate. And you've got to take this out like you do any other switch. Put your chrome back on there in your little washer. This actually is designed to pop out. And so you don't need to take this one off. And that looks pretty good. So I'll tell you a couple other things. If you ever change these bulbs, use the exact bulb. Because if you use anything else, you can melt these little jewels here. And that's what they're called, little jewels. And I forgot something. When I went to college in my MG, I remember the reason I thought of this, because I was thinking how accurate the fuel gauge is in this car. But I was in an MG midget, and I was tootling up I-40 up Old Fort Mountain and ran out of gas, showing almost more than a quarter tank of gas. So I didn't know any better. I mean, I had the days when I didn't know any better. And I hit that on because I didn't want anybody to hit my nice little white MG. So that way, when you get back with gas, your battery will be dead. But the good thing about those cars is you can roll start them. I roll started in reverse. I was on a mountain, and she cranked up. I made it home, and it was fine. But this is like the craziest thing ever. Yeah, the hazard is that you'll drain your battery into nothing. So let's see if it looks better to me already. It just looks cleaner, even though I don't have that up yet. And I'll put that up. Let's see what it looks like. And I just can't wait. So just remember, that's, God knows how many millions of dollars that's worth. I don't know if it's worth anything, but to original Jaguar people it is. Look at the great patina where everybody's hit there. That's a word you get sick of, isn't it, patina? And so anyway, that's what that is, though. All right, that's going to go in the little box with the little cover, and then we're going to try to get this up and make it look as nice as we possibly can. And I'm not above doing certain things, but I don't think I would do it in this case. In some circumstances, I'd get that up best I could and just get a little dollop of some flat black and sort of touch around and make it sort of go away. But not in this car, not in this one. You don't do that in this one. And I got a feeling when you get in, you know, you fixate on how it looks when you're here, but when you're up here, you know, you won't notice it so much. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Let me finish this up. The other thing I would certainly tell you before I put this up, see all those exposed connections there, do something about, you know, covering that up so you won't ground out on anything up here. And just make sure everything, I don't mind if the ground grounds because it's grounded. So there you go. Let's just make this, shield this, and then we'll put it up. Okay. Let's see. So always remember too that there is a latch back here on these cars. Few people know it, but you can actually get a little fresh air right there, just like Volkswagens, eh? Well, not exactly. So I have finished this. Let's just, now she would normally be like another 8 inches beneath me because she's on the lift. Now see, look at that. See the fascia panel? It's just clean now. All right. Yeah, I can see some stuff down there. And guess what? It is a sports car. It is a race car. You're gonna see some things. I'd rather look at that little bit of stuff there than that big hunking thing there. I know it's not right. I know, okay? And see this right here, this hooks up your iPod. So I mean, you know, we all got our things. We all do our stuff. You know, I hadn't turned the radio on in this thing in a long time. Okay, let's turn this light off and just sort of soak it in. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that's much better. And so I didn't disconnect anything. I just insulated it well, and I tied it up under the dash. It's fine. Okay, let's see what the turn signals look like now. Oh, let's do this for fun. There you go. And turn signals. I'm not going to reach across. There you go. I can see them working out there. I can see them working there. So we have achieved. Let's see if the radio plays. Well, it would. Oh, Europa 2. I'm in the garage. I got no chance of picking up anything, I don't think. But it is making a hissing noise. Must be the snake channel. Look at that little green light works in there. And if I was able to hit FM, the little red light would probably come on. I've had these that actually have had shortwave on them. And back in the day, you had 3 channels, BC, FM, and SW. And you don't need shortwave much anymore. Okay, click, and then that'll be it. I'm glad that was just earthing. And a lot of times you'll find that if you whack something and it comes to life, you just got a loose wire somewhere generally. Don't go all overboard like I did the other day with the starter. Whew, man, I was ready to pull the motor out and jump into that thing. So hopefully we'll crank her up and we'll put this in tomorrow, and we will. That's all been restored, and I got that funky metallic looking stuff on there, so nobody's gonna fault me. And okay, let's put this up here. Boink. And that'll be it. So give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. Chomp that like button, as the Tool Bear says. I like the Tool Bear. You ought to watch Tool Bear. And subscribe. So let's get those subscriptions on up there. Now I'll tell you something I do. If I go anywhere on YouTube and I tune into something I like and I'm not subscribed, I do subscribe. I don't always ring the bell, but you know, that's a good habit to get into because we can all work together on that thing. And now that's going to start bugging me. Not too much. I'm not going to mess with that. And nothing to drop a super glue wouldn't. Okay, well, I am going to have to fix that. I'm just going to sit there and stare at it if I don't. All right, thanks for watching. See you later. Bye-bye. Say it with me. Bonus footage. Just a little touch on the screwdriver and that looks all like it should now. I love hearing that clock tick. Okay, so let's get out and see what goes on. And I hope when I turn the key, she'll just go tomorrow. Alright, so let's see what the phone looks like. See, it looks great. I don't mind that green line up there, it doesn't bother me. So that'll help airflow. So there that is, as crummy as it looks. It didn't cost me nothing. So I'm going to do this for me, and then that will be it for today. And we will strike her up tomorrow. These are, I keep forgetting, I really haven't broken in these exhaust manifolds yet. You know, you're supposed to, those are, actually don't look it, but they're new. And you can't get them too hot too quick too many times. You have to kind of break them in. So I got to remember that tomorrow. I can't run her too long, even though I've driven her some. You know, you got to go slow with her. That stuff will crack. All right, bye-bye, guys.